Good morning. At some point in the not too distant future, probably sooner rather than later, our country, the United States of America and other countries around the world, will undergo what some people are referring to as a financial reset. Some people call it a financial crisis, some people call it a collapse. At the end of this video, I will have a short list of internet YouTube channels where I hope that you will go and do your own research about this topic and find out as much as you can about it, because it is something that is coming over the next, nobody knows how long it will be. It may be a few months, it may be a few years, but it is something that will be very life-changing for all of us. And the purpose of this video is not to talk about that, but to talk for just a few minutes about some of the things that I hope that anyone who's listening to this video will do in order to prepare for what is coming. Now, the first thing that I would like to say is that it's very important that we all get our money out of the banks. And I know that may sound crazy to someone who's never heard of any of this before, but most of us, or well, some people anyway, have heard of the Dodd-Frank Act. This is something that was a law that was passed shortly after the 2008 crisis. And I have read that there are some parts of it that have been repealed, but there are parts of it that are still into effect. And this article, if you go on the internet and just search how Dodd-Frank made it legal for banks to confiscate, or as I like to say sometimes, confiscate funds during a banking crisis. It's a short article, it's not complicated at all. And it's just a starting point somewhere that I hope you'll go and read this article, and then from there do more research to, if you don't know about this already, to find out more about what your status is with your bank. It used to be that we were considered depositors if you put money in a bank, and you could go get your money out anytime you wanted to, and it was just yours. The bank, you know, they didn't have a right to just take it from you. But that's not the way it is anymore after Dodd-Frank, because of the bailouts in 2008, where taxpayers had to bail out the banks when they were having a crisis. That's probably why this came about, but no more. Taxpayers are no longer on the hook for that. Now it's the people who are invested in that bank, or the depositors who have money in that bank. Now, I've heard two different things. I've read two different things, that people who have more than $100,000 in a bank are the ones who will forfeit their money in the event that the bank has a crisis and is, you know, failing. And I've also heard that it's just everyone, anyone and everyone who has anything in the bank, you can lose up to 50% of what you have there, including what's in safe deposit box. Safety deposit boxes. Now, I have heard people say that, you know, because the banks are still operating and they're not supposed to do this unless they're getting ready to fail, but because this crisis is coming, most of the banks in the world probably will be failing. That's why we want to be prepared, and just don't keep your money there in the first place. Except I've heard people, and this is kind of what I'm doing right now, just, you know, keep enough money there to cover your checks that you have to write to pay your mortgage or your rent or your power bill, and just to conduct business on a monthly basis. And then anything that's left over, if you have savings, particularly if you're saving for retirement or anything like that, take it out of the bank. And as you'll see on some of these channels, you know, it's really a good idea to put it into tangible assets that will hold value, such as gold and silver. And there are other ways to keep that money safe as well, but I mean, it would be better to keep it under your mattress probably than leave it in the bank. So anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. The other thing was, and I'm probably going to run out of time, so I'm going to just make this very brief. On January the 1st, 2021, if it becomes law, there is something else that is going to change. It's very important as far as the financial system is concerned. It's going to be the creation of digital wallets and digital money. And if you go to this website right here and look up the Banking for All Act, it's not law yet, but it has been introduced. It has to pass the Senate and the House and be signed by the President, then it will become law. And this is something that I just don't have time to go into. Something that I just learned about on one of the channels that I watch a lot. And I think it's something that we all need to make ourselves aware of, so that we're not, you know, just caught unaware about what's coming down the pike as far as cash versus digital money. And the other thing I would say as far as like this and just the reset is so important to try to get out of debt, any kind of debt that you have, and if you're stuck with it going into the new currency after the reset, it's going to be just a very bad situation. So do your own research and try to get your money out of the banks, buy gold, buy silver, and get out of debt. Now, the one other thing that I'll say while I'm holding up this list of YouTube channels that I would highly recommend to go to just learn as much as you can about this, is that Jim Rickards is another person who's very good, knows a lot about this. He's written some books on it, and his name is not on here, but I've heard him say that one of the things that is good to have during the transition period, because there should be a transition period during which ATMs won't work, banks won't work, and during, it may be a few months, it could be longer than that, when you're pretty much just stuck with whatever cash you have on your person or at your house. And a lot of people don't keep a lot of cash these days, so he would recommend that you have silver eagles. Jim Rickards recommended that because, for one thing, it's silver, and another thing is it is considered real money by most people, and you could probably use that to buy things like food during the transition period. And another thing, it would, you know, get your money out of the banks, get out of debt, buy gold, buy silver, and stash small bills, because cash won't just immediately go away with a snap of the fingers. It will still be used during the transition period. And if you have a lot of small bills, like $5 bills, $20 bills, you can use those to, you know, buy food and do whatever during the time that, before the new currency comes along. Now, that's about all the time I have, so I hope that you will go to these channels and just learn as much as you can about what is coming, so that you can prepare for yourself and for your family. That's about all I have time to say about this, so thank you so much for watching.